Thank you for your service. Now I'll give you my backhand. My winner whizzes down the line. Betting weekly tennis live. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
Betting Weekly Tennis Live. We are back. We are ready to go. This is a great time of the year because Nigel Seeley on the show today. We have Grand Slam tennis, French Open, full effect. They're playing tennis all over the grounds of Paris. Nigel, welcome to the show. We've got a lot of stuff to get to here on the Bet Rivers Network. All our social channels are buzzing at Because We Win. How has it been going, and how was it attending Roland Garros and being there for a dramatic night session?
Yeah, hi, Mitch. I mean, it was it's a funny place, Paris, the Roland Garros. It's a very small venue, and they cram as many people as they possibly can in it. So it's really crowded. And I went to the evening session, which was an absolute rip-off in terms of the money. €160 to go and watch one match. Yannick Sinner when he was minus 1,000 to beat Artur Rinderknech, which was over in about an hour and it's a bit longer, 2 hours, 2 hours, yeah. 2 and a bit hours because Rinderknech made a fight of it. But Paris is a great city. The weather hasn't been great, but tomorrow the weather's going to be good. And on Friday, it's going to have really, really hot weather in Paris. It seems to be warming up. I mean, when I left this morning, people are in their T-shirts now and stuff like that. But when I left this morning, it was very windy and it was very wet. But now we've got a couple of days of really good weather, which may change the conditions over the next couple of days in Paris. But it's been good. I like the tournament, but it's very, very crowded is Paris. And very, very crowded is Roland Garros.
Yeah, some of the court selections, right? Like they put Fonseca on court 14 against Hubie, and I saw the lines to get in, and it was just chaos. It's
absolutely mad. I wanted to get in to watch court number 4 to cheer on Roos to beat McCartney Kessler the other night, and I literally stayed in the queue for almost a full set before. But no one, once they get their seat, no one moves. So you're not going to go anywhere, and and they're going to come on to run a couple of angles for tomorrow. And the reason why is because obviously they stopped the order of play at Filip Chatrier, but people could stay in the grounds. Mm-hmm. So they're rushing around. So if you've got an evening pass, you're going in. You've got no chance of getting on the outside course. But there's a couple of theories I like from what I saw last week, which we'll come on to a bit later on.
Okay. Well, hey, I can't wait for those theories. I love listening to new theories and ways to just get smart and make money, of course, here. And as we move along and look at the live window, mention it. There's always going to be tennis going on around this time of day. But we got some good ones right now. Some male-seeded players in the fights of their lives right now. Tommy Paul, back from the dead. Fucsovics was up 2 sets to love. He was serving for set 4. Paul seems a little hampered. Paul breaks back. Holds, breaks again. Now he's serving 6-5 in set 4 as a minus 245 favorite. How the odds switch in that one, Nigel?
Yeah, massively. I bet Martin Fucsovics on the money line this morning at $6. Sean Calvert gave Martin Fucsovics to win set number 1, which he cashed, and I also bet Martin Fucsovics plus 6.5 games on the Betting Weekly Studios newsletter this week. That was my newsletter picks. But so everything's gone really well, but the money line is changing massively. Tommy Paul's 30 love. It looks like it's going to go 2 sets or minus 265. Fucsovics is plus 195. He can't close matches out, Fucsovics. He starts extremely fast in majors, but he has an inability. And you've got to remember, he was serving to win the match here. He's now plus 195. If you want to go across to the BetRivers website. If you look at the total games in that match, it's a monster 48.5 now. So Tommy Paul is giving it a real fight back. It looks like he's going to take the second set. The full set. It's going to go to the 5th set. But the big story is developing on with Stefanos Tsitsipas, Mitch, isn't it? This is the big story of the day so far here.
If he goes down, he is down 2 sets and a break 3-2 to Matteo Gigante. Wow. And this was one, like, we knew that he struggled against lefties. Some people might have thought, okay, Ben Shelton would be coming up here in the Alcaraz section. Got to get there first. And it's been a rough day at the office for Tsitsipas. Isn't really working into Gigante's service games and is up and down. And unfortunately for Tsitsipas, Nigel, for as good as it's been, there's been some uneven play. He's now plus 340 on the money line with Gigante serving 30-15 in that 6th game of the 4th set.
Yeah, he's moving out now, plus 390 now. Tsitsipas minus 625 Gigante to get the biggest win of his career, and minus 835 now, moving on every point, 40-15. I think it's Tsitsipas has got to make him serve it out, hasn't he? I mean,
Mhm.
he can't. He's got to hold his serve next match, and then next game, and then hope that Gigante has a little bit of realization of where he is, knocking the former finalist of the French Open out in round number 2. And that's what you got to hope if you're going to be betting Tsitsipas to make a comeback here. He's not playing well, Mitch. I've watched the last set and a half of this match. He is making so many unforced errors. The backhand is usually one of the most spectacular shots in tennis. It's way off today. Out, the amount of unforced errors are incredible.
Yeah.
And the other thing, he's serving a huge amount of double faults. I mean, you know, he's one of these greatest mysteries, Tsitsipas. What a great talent he is, and a player that, you know, on his day is a lovely player to watch, but he has so many off days. And at the moment, Gigante is having a fantastic day. The other thing is the Paris crowd are really behind the Italian, and Stefanos Tsitsipas doesn't like it when he's up. And, you know, the only way that Gigante is going to get beat here is if he bottles it himself, you know, if he realizes he can knock out the former finalist. So my advice here, maybe if you think Tsitsipas is going to do it, wait till Gigante's serving for the match, and then maybe take a chance on Tsitsipas breaking him, because the pressure will be on the Italian, and he's never been in a situation like this before.
It's crazy to see, but yeah, that backhand from Tsitsipas, it can be spectacular when it's on, but a lot of times it's off, and these players are too smart. Even a player like Gigante is going to target the Tsitsipas backhand. He's targeting it today, and it's breaking down. It's leaking oil, as they say.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some more pleasant things in your world in the live betting scene. That's Danilovic is a game away from Danielle Collins.
Yeah, that was a tip I gave today on the Instagram account at Because We Win. It was a repeat of this match last year. The other thing is that these two played this will be the third time they played, and everyone's gone to a final set.
6-4 last year.
And they've gone way over on the totals. They were 21.5 the line with Bet Rivers this morning. I'm hoping I can get that one over the line. I've had some really unlucky. I had Offner going into the 5th set today. He got beat. Fucsovics now going into a 5th set, trailing in the betting at plus 215 with Tommy Paul at minus 295. So I'm worried about that. But Danilovic is 5-2 up, 30 all, and a heavy minus 1,000 favourite. And the total again is 27.5 here. So the trend with Collins and Danilovic is over total games. The problem is that you're joining us now, and these matches sort of all coming to an end in terms of the betting perspective. But the Tommy Paul one is the one that's probably the most solid in terms of betting aspect. I mean, have you been watching the game, Mitch? Because
I have.
Is Tommy Paul fit? Is he fighting? Is it what's
There's something he's holding it tight to the vest, but there seems something off. Now, there have been reports that, you know, this time of year players feel under the weather, and I don't know, that might be on top of it, but it'd be hard pressed to me. There seems to be some sort of like limp going on. It might be groin related or something, not to the point of incapacitating him, Nigel, but to your point, he doesn't look like he's moving as quickly as he normally does. One of the best movers in the entire game. There's something a little off with him, but Fucsovics, and I feel like Fucsovics has been this spot before. You know, he's another guy that plays long matches, but sometimes doesn't close them out. So I don't think this is over by a long shot. Tommy Paul, if he doesn't hold up, can lose this match, but he's buzzing right now, just winning that set 7-5.
When I'm looking at the price, I mean, if he's not 100% fit, minus 295 for Tommy Paul, plus 215 Fucsovics, a 1-set shootout. I mean, is it really that much difference? I mean, what Bet Rivers are saying there, they're saying that Tommy Paul is very close to a 75% chance of winning this match. I'm not so sure if that is a true reflection of where this match is at this moment in time.
And if you're following at home, remember, if you win, it's because you're really smart. But if you lose, you just got unlucky. So that's the general rule of principle here.
One other thing about Tommy Paul, I mean, he's got the grass season to come. Obviously, he's done well at Queen's Club. He's got the Wimbledon. He doesn't want to go in there with an injury. If he is, and you know what kind of physicality he's going to be in for the next round coming through. This is going to be an alter fade, whoever he plays in the next round. But I'm looking at this. I wanted your advice whether I should go in again on Fucsovics or whether I should just hope.
Going back to the well, I don't know if I can endorse going back to the well, but I do agree with you. It's an overpriced given what Tommy Paul's looked like. Now he's got a tremendous heart and grit. He might just be able to gut this out. But yeah, I think there's a little overvalue there. What a interesting one for the Americans, right? Like if you look across the board, there's been some pitiful performances, but there's also been some good ones. And I would just also point out too, Nigel, this section. Casper Ruud goes out today. There's been some landmines. We haven't even gotten to section 6, which is just a free-for-all to get to the quarterfinals. So we've seen some seeds get plagued by upsets. I think it's going to make for some interesting results going forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the business end of the competition comes in. Players that have never thought they got a chance to get through to the deep of the especially a clay court. So what happens, the draw opens up, Rude is out, the draw opens up, Tsitsipas is on the verge of going out. It all looks good for Alcaraz, though, doesn't it, really? I mean, there's only one person who's happy with the results here, and that is the number 2 seed, Carlos Alcaraz, and tournament favourite. I think, going into the mat today, he was hanging around just a little bit at plus money. But after today's results, Carlos Alcaraz is going to be I think he'd be about a minus 125 shots or 120 shots to win the tournament now. Everything is, holding up for him. His only real test was Tsitsipas, who's now on the verge of going out as well, till he got to the semi-final.
If you look at who would the winner of this match play, if Tommy Paul wins, who does he play? He gets Karen Khachanov, who I think is not a good matchup to play for Hobble, and maybe not ready to go the distance. He's
just come through a 5-set match as well, though. So it'll be the battle of the fittest. So that'll be quite interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, if you want another live match to look at too, and if you want to have some fun, always look at Jelena Ostapenko. Who knows what she's doing with Caroline Dolehide is got a break point at 5-all. There's been a lot of break points in this match. Ostapenko's minus 148 as I look at it in real time. Ostapenko, we know what section she's in. She's in the Iga section. Iga looked great in beating Emma Raducanu, giving up just 3 games. But Ostapenko, just ever there was that dangerous floater, as they say, it's her. If she survives this match, we'll see if she's playing with house money. But no easy feat against Caroline.
That looks like I know it's going over now. I mean, it's a game. Whoever wins the first set, I would strongly predict that whoever lost the first set, this is going the distance, isn't it? It just Ostapenko's going to have a meltdown at some stage. You know that she's going to have. Not going to make a lot of errors. She's going to have a lapse of concentration. Dolehaide's going to get back into it. It looks an over game now. I mean, what is the total? What is the total on the overs at the moment on that match?
Right now, right now, if you go to total games in let's take a gander. Actually, a total game spread.
I want to be on over there.
Final spread game. Yeah, let's take a look and see. Game lines. Yeah. Looking at the app right now, 23 and a half.
Oh, you want to be like that's a low number. Yeah, that could easily cover that. 23 and a half. I mean, whoever wins set number 1 will lose set number 2. Interesting how Tsitsipas now did hold on to his serve, only just. He did. Gigante started off well, 4-3, 15 love. So this is I actually would take a chance on this. I know that he's not playing well, Tsitsipas, but when
would you wait? Get to 5-4?
I would wait to 5-4, and then when the pressure is on, and I'll just have a free hit that Tsitsipas can break him, and the nerves will get to Gigante. But at this moment in time, it doesn't look like throwing it away. But when the realization of getting into the third round of a major is there, I've seen so many players fade from this position that you might want to take a chance on here. 15-all now, 15-all.
We got an opening. We got an opening hold for Fucsovics in set 5. We got Sabalenka facing break point in the 3rd game against Jill Teichmann. Caroline Dolehide.
Danilovic served for the match, and she's now got a break point. She was minus 1,000. She was minus 1,000.
I think that it's still okay. It's not men's tennis. I think they're still okay. Like we had this debate before. She's got a chance to break for the match. It might actually be a better situation to break here and win the match.
She's just broken it now, and now it's 5-4. I mean, that is just. That's the tale of my day. That's my day today. My day today is everything's gone down to the final set. As Gigante's showing nerves here, 15-30. This might be quite interesting to have a look at this in the betting here. I mean, we've got. He's plus 275 now. Tsitsipas minus $4 Gigante. I mean,
we've also got a good one just to mention. Schneider and Yastremska starting right now. They're in a battle of still the first game, so. That's an interesting one on the women's side, too. But this Gigante Tsitsipas thing, remember, the winner's going to get Ben Shelton, who had a walkover, did not have to play against Hugo Gaston, so he's waiting, licking his chops. But if Tsitsipas is going to get through, he's going to have to do it the hard way. 30-all now. I'm maybe see if we're on the same page. But
I've bet Schneider. I mean, before the absolute collapse against Paolini in Rome, I bet her to win this tournament. I bet her to win the Roland Garros 100-1. So I've got an invested interest there to win the tournament. But at the moment, the way I'm going at the moment, I could stop anything. So I wouldn't really worry about it. I mean, Dolehide did break. Dolehide now serving for the match. For the first set against Ostapenko. And that total game line has gone from 23.5 to 25.5 on the back of that. Obviously, the market was hoping Ostapenko would hold serve. So down 25.5. I would get on Ostapenko in play if she lost that first set. She's currently plus 128, but with Ostapenko, she just it's always overs and always erratic matches. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. It really is. And Schneider, I think she's up to the top 10 now. 100-1 is great value. She's got to keep her head down. Don't get into it with the crowd. That was kind of the downfall of Paulini. The crowd got to her. So we'll see. I want to get to some more stuff. We got matches later today, but some matches that you highlighted here on the show for tomorrow that I want to get to. Nigel Seeley here on Betting Weekly Tennis Live. Let's start about this. Everyone was talking about the Monfils show last night. Monfils is plus 450. He's got a tough test against Jack Draper, who did drop the first set to Bellucci. Figured it around there. You see the spread on your screen at 6.5 is the game spread, 34.5 over under. So Nigel, looking at this match, where are you targeting? How do you want to attack betting this one?
Well, I'm not convinced by Jack Draper on the clay surface. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit warmer, but this is the night match, so the night conditions are a lot cooler. So that I don't think the cooler conditions will have much of effect because both of them are big servers and both of them like to. I think it'd be an entertaining match. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's any sort of preference for each one, which one they want to play. But I do think Jack Draper is a player that is currently being slightly overrated on clay. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's the poster boy over here for Wimbledon in just a month's time now. He's got to go to Queen's Club where everyone's going to expect him to do it. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders in the next month or so. But it's just really what's left in the Gael Monfils tank, isn't it? That's really what you've got after last night. No players won more 5-set matches at Roland Garros than Gael Monfils. The crowd would expect him to come out and just do exactly what he did last night. But was he 39 now?
38.
39. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know he watches this show. I'm sorry, Gael Monfils. He watches this show. But he's 38 years of age. I mean, the legs have got to be tiring. And I would be slightly worried about it. I would expect Jack Draper to probably win it. I wouldn't play him on the money line. I certainly wouldn't play the total games because I think that there could be a potential of a complete washout if we go in. If Gael Monfils gets absolutely exhausted and he's 2-1 down, there could be an opportunity where Jack Draper wins a full set quite comfortably. Right. But I've got quite a small lean for 3-1. In the sets for Draper. I think Monfils will get. I think Monfils will take a set off him. I think he'll get the crowd going, but I think eventually the 38-year-old will just run into the younger and more fitter man at the end of the day.
Okay, it's usually how that happens. We're still in that 4-3 game in Tsitsipas Gigante.
He was Tsitsipas. I was watching the corner mile. Tsitsipas had a break point there, and Gigante's drop shot has been superb. It's been the weapon all the way through this match. And again, he played a lovely shot in there. But it's a different thing. It's just realization of that man at the end of the court who you've got to beat. I watched.
There it is. Danilovic.
She
wins.
She won.
She won 6-4. Told you not to worry. We're good until you got to sort it out.
But the thing is, why doesn't anything come easy in a final? No. You can ask any better. All you want is an easy 6-3, 6-4 in a final set. None of these matches come easy, but obviously it's a major. I watched Tsitsipas play in Rome against Artur Fils about 2 weeks ago, and the first set of tennis, Mitch, honestly, Tsitsipas played the best set of tennis I've seen him play for years. He was faultless. Artur Fils didn't know what to do. He had absolutely no answer to anything. And then he just fell apart and Fils out-bullied him. I got a feeling here he's doing the bullying to Gigante, and I think he's got to try to just get to the opportunity and think, I can. This kid's going to freeze, and that's what he's trying to do. And get to those big crucial points. But I think there's a little bit of life in this betting.
I think there is too. We're going to update you on that as well as the Paul Fucsovics 5th set. Daily double in a second too, but another men's match that we want to get to. This Denis Shapovalov match against Filip Misolic, the kid from Austria, 23 years old. He's plus 160 against Shapovalov. This section to get to Novak Djokovic versus Corentin Moutet. There you see the spread at 3.5, over under at 38.5, and some set betting as well. So, all right, a read on Shapovalov back on the clay. It's been a little uneven for him. Has that title in Dallas, but is this an upset spot, or do you think the favorite isn't a good shot here?
I think this is a big upset spot. I really do. And the price of plus 160 that Bet Rivers are offering is the best price in the land. All day today over in the UK, there's been money from Milosevic. And I think that's there's a potential here of a shock. Plus 160, I don't think will last. I believe by the time these two take to the court tomorrow, he'll be around about plus 140 here. Shapovalov as an odds-on heavy minus money favourite on clay, European clay, is something that if you've bet that over the years, you'll be going to you won't be dining out of some very.
You don't have a
fancy
computer.
restaurants.
You're not watching the show because you don't have a computer or a phone.
Exactly. He's only ever got to the third round twice, which was in 2024 and 23, the last 2 years. Prior to that, it was always a first round or second round casualty. And I think this is a real test against a player that has got a really good record on clay this year. He's come through qualification, hasn't dropped the set into qualification, looked really good in the first round against Jacquemot. His challenger events has been great. He won a challenger on clay in Prague. He also got to the quarterfinals of the Zagreb Challenger as well. He's a player that has been winning at a low level, but he's used to winning. And I've got a feeling here this is going to be a lot closer than that betting suggests. So I think this is a lively dog at plus 160. I like Milosic. Is it Milosevic or Milosic? Milosic, isn't it? I like him plus 1.5 sets with Bet Rivers, and I would take a chance of him at 3.5. But the way sometimes you take the 3.5, and then he loses a set 6-love or 6-1, like you can potentially do against the seeded player or the better player, and then you lose your bet. So I might just go in on the money line. I think plus 160 is a big price.
We're looking at this 8th game, too, in the Tsitsipas Gigante. We're at deuce, and neither player great on breaking second serve points. I'm just looking at some of the stats right now. It just hasn't been a clean match for either. So can Tsitsipas just find a way to force a 5th set and go there as Tommy Paul goes up a break early in set 5?
Well, he's serving for the man. I mean, I tell you one thing, though. Gigante he's blowing. He looks really tired. Absolutely. Yeah. He looks tired. So he's got to get it done here. If he goes to a 5th set, I just can't see any way that he can go without the inexperience that Tsitsipas has. But he looks blowy at the moment.
We got updates on the women's side. Sabalenka down an early break 3-1 to Jill Teichmann, still a big favorite there. And then Ostapenko facing break point in set 2, down a set 30-40. So plenty of twists and turns left in that match. I'm going to go out on a limb and predict. But speaking of women's tennis, Nigel, time for the daily double. And you highlighted 2 women from the same country. Interesting way to approach this, but we're in Paris and it's time to feel a little French for your daily double.
Bonjour. Here we go. I tell you what, Mitch, one thing I mentioned it on the podcast today with Sean Calvert, and it's something I noticed. So when you go to the tennis at Roland Garros, you have your day tickets for a Filip Chartres course, and then at the end you have an evening match as well, and then there's about an hour and a half or 2 hours where all the people leave the main court, Filip Chartres, and then the evening session come in. So they go around looking for tennis to watch. The last match on the courts, on the outside courts where you don't have to have a ticket, there's 3 main courts where you have to have a ticket. The French support is like a soccer match. It's unbelievable. They just go around looking for the French to cheer. They turn it into a party atmosphere. They probably had a couple of glasses of Chardonnay or Chablis on the day to make themselves a little bit more sort of patriotic. And I think it's a daunting challenge to play the French players on the final match on one of those outside courts, because there is a huge amount of people. The place is packed. And they all congregate because they're all leaving the main court. They all stand outside the court singing as well. So that's a couple of my angles for this one. So I think the French players have a good advantage. The first match I'm going to talk about is Alycia Parks. And Alycia Parks is always an automatic fade for me whenever she plays on clay. I always look for her opponent and look whoever she is. Whoever she plays, I want to oppose her. She's playing Jacquemot, Alycia Jacquemot. I know she's ranked a lot lower than Alycia Parks, but on clay and in Paris on a final day, I think she'll get the better of Alycia Parks, who's only won 2 matches on clay out of her 7 this year. Last year, she had a terrible run on clay, only winning 2 of her 9 matches. And she just isn't comfortable on the dirt of Paris. I know she had a big win against Mukova in round 1, but prior to that, she had lost 6 of her last 7 matches, all on clay. And the other thing I would state is Mukova wasn't fit. She's not the same player. She's not the same player who got to the final of the French Open 2 years ago. I honestly believe that she will come unstuck here. So instead of playing on the money line, I'm going to go for the game spread. So I'm going to go for Jacquemot minus 2.5 on the game spread with Bet Rivers. So that's my first play on my daily double. If you want to play on the, I think she's a good thing, but at minus, what is she on the money line? Minus
177.
It's
a little juice there.
It's a little bit, juice. Yeah, a little too much juice for me. So I won't pay minus 177, but I do think she'll cover the 2.5. So Jacquemot minus 2.5 is my first bet against Alycia Parks, who is so uncomfortable on the clay and only got this far because she ran into an injured Mukova. So that's my first one. And my second one is another French girl, and this was the girl who they cheered home the other night against Begu, Jeanjean. She was 6-love down against Begu in set number 1. Then the crowd come in and she had the most incredible support. She broke Begu to take it to a tiebreak. She won the tiebreak, and then Begu was 3-0 down in the third set. I think it was, or 4-0 down in the third set, and retired. But I don't think she was really injured. I think she jacked it in because she didn't fancy the atmosphere there. And she's up against Kasatkina. Now, Kasatkina's form coming into this tournament has been ropey, to say the very least. I mean, her serving has been pretty poor. Her match against Raducanu the other day in Strasbourg, it was embarrassment. Siniakova should have had.
We talked about that match.
Yeah. My friends still remind him of it because I bet Kasatkina. She got beat by Kushchuk. She got beat by Alexandrova. She's got beat by Kenny in Charleston. She's lost 4 of her last 6 matches. She wasn't that great against Siniakova. Siniakova had chances to win it, and Kasatkina is flaky. Now, if this crowd gets going exactly like they did the other night, Kasatkina will not be able to handle the situation. She's one player that I wouldn't trust in that raucous French atmosphere. So I want to get with Jeanjean here plus 5.5. I think the over total of 19.5 is quite cheap as well, minus 127. This could be long. And the reason this is this will be the last match on tomorrow. So there's going to be all the French are going to come out of them show courts and they're going to go straight in here and cheer this girl on. She's got some kind of like hero, they've got behind her and they got her home the other night. And at Kasatkina, I think they'll fancy the chances. So I'm going to go for Jeanjean plus 5.5. The daily double, getting with the 2 French girls, plays 236. Boom, wee, cash.
Kasatkina, as you alluded to, never an easy service hold. So even if you're down a little early and it might be struggling, there's always going to be time for Jeanjean to get back in the match. By the way, we got the comments on this Tommy Paul Fucsovics match. It's kind of getting crazy with what's happening. Paul breaks back. Fucsovics is now serving at 2-all, plus 133. Paul's down to minus 195. You got Tsitsipas trying to fight to stay in the match to put the pressure on Gigante to serve it out. Well, a lot of stuff is happening on the grounds of Roland Garros right now.
And Ostapenko whole serve, 1-1, 30-love. She's going to break next serve. She'll win that set. That's going to be epic. Sabalenka's broken. She's loved 15 on the Teachman serve, trying to get that break back. Sabalenka. I tell you what, I'm waiting for Sabalenka to play Anisimova, you know.
I know.
I want that. Well, I want to be with Anisimova.
Would it be Towson next? How'd she do today? I'm trying to Towson and Anisimova. Okay, so the winner of that match gets to.
I think you'd fancy Anisimova on the clay, wouldn't you? I think Towson's a little bit quicker. But the one thing I'd like, Saturday is going to be Friday. Sorry, it's going to be. So is it? Friday is going to be really, really hot over in Paris. So the conditions have been pretty much what they have been for the last 2 or 3 years. If you look at the percentage of service holes and the court speeds, pretty much what they have been for years gone by. But when that weather comes in, it might heat up a little bit. So we'll see some changes. But I think where we are now, if you just come on now on the show and you're looking for a bet now, I think we want to play the over total in the Ostapenko match. I think that's a great angle in. We know how they are. And here we go. Now we've got
Gigante. Yeah, here we go. 5-4.
And I'm hoping Fucsovics gets over the line against Tommy Paul. I mean, and that line now has sort of come back, Mitch. You know, it was minus 235, wasn't it, or 245 when we going into the final set. And no, minus 295. It was about a 75% chance. And now going to serve, it's minus 143 and only plus 112 Fucsovics. So,
and I got a question for you too, Nigel. So Ostapenko, if she holds serve, it's 2-1. We're going to Dolehide serve. It's plus 125 on the instant betting. I love the instant betting on Bet Rivers. Would you just sprinkle a little instant betting for Ostapenko to get the break?
I will bet. I will bet Ostapenko gets the break here. Yes, at plus. Okay. And I also think that she'll win this set but I'm not necessarily think she'll win the match because that's the way that Ostapenko makes it go.
There it is.
But I think she'll break here. I think she'll win this set, and then she's the kind of girl that could lose 6-love in the third. It's just that way it goes Ostapenko matches. But I do fancy a break here, and I've got a sneaky feeling that Tsitsipas may break Gigante here, purely and simply because it's plus 650. Stefanos Tsitsipas. So I mean, if Tsitsipas breaks him now at plus 650. He will be, I reckon he'll be around about plus 130. He's won the first point. He's halved in price, plus 360. I fancy a break here. I think Gigante will realise what's happening, and I think that the pressure will get to him. And this is the call. This is what I've said all along. I've said, like, since we come live, the time to bet Tsitsipas is now. It wasn't earlier on. This is the moment, and the Italian has got to get it over the line here. And today already, there's been a lot of players. Often there was a break-up serving. Fucsovics was love 30 now. Stefanos Tsitsipas plus 205. This is the time.
We're sticking with you for this one because we got to see if this will's home. 3-2 now Fucsovics, but
he's not going to be far. He won't be far off favourite if he holds on to. If he breaks serve here, he won't be far off favourite because that psychologically Gigante will be gone when he to pieces, and we don't know what he's like as a player because he hasn't been in a situation. But the realization of serving to knock out a seed is something that I always say novice bettors of tennis. Forget what you've seen for 3 hours. When it gets down to these points, it's so important to get them to serve out rather than to give it on your racket, and that's what Tsitsipas has done. So 15,
especially your daily double picks, if it gets down to a player against a French player having to serve it out, that pressure is just enormous to have to deal with it.
A lot of the French players, they can't handle the pressure. A lot of them find it too much here. And Hugo Humbert is a prime example of that. He's got an absolute terrible record at Roland Garros, and a lot of the French players find it really hard. But when you go there, the outside courts, I mean, there was probably, I'd say, I don't know, 50 times more people in Filip Chatrian on court number 12, or 14 was the other night, but the noise was incredible, absolutely incredible. And it got a 1540. Here we go. He's plus 160 now, Tsitsipas. Going into this match, he was plus 650. So even if you took the 650, you can bet Gigante at minus 215. You can guarantee a profit, whichever happens. But I can see Tsitsipas breaking here. And I think he'll be around about plus 110 going into the match. If he then holds on to serve and wins this set, he's probably about a minus 6 lot of favourite.
Got 30 all right now on break point Ostapenko. As we said, hope you jumped down that plus 125 instant break there. We got a lot going on here, 30-40. But just quickly before we wind this down, Nigel, our Betting Weekly Tennis Live. Any other thoughts on the matches later tonight? We got Korda Brooksby about to go. Tiafoe Carreño Busta is about minus 186 for Big Foe. Any other leans? I think they're very difficult matches. I mean, Brooksby Korda, you would expect Korda to win it, but Brooksby did well in his first round against Faria. I bet Faria, and I was quite surprised with the performance from him. I think first set overs, over 9.5, over 10.5 set number one, that'll be played as a not a typical clay court match. It could be a lot of long sets. You would think Holger Rune would get through pretty comfortably, but and he's got an opportunity. The draw's opening up for Holger Rune. He's got a very good opportunity to go deep here, but he's a player that I wouldn't really want to trust. That with a lot of juice and low odds, not for me. CFO Carreño Busta, I think it might be competitive for set number one, but then I expect CFO to have too much for Carreño Busta, and we know that CFO is a big time player. And to play Carreño Busta over here, I think he'll fancy that. But again, could be set one overs. So I'm going to go small leans. Brooksby Korda over 10.5 set one. TFO Carreño Busta over 10.5 set number one as well. Got deuce in this game. Tsitsipas hasn't broke. We're at deuce right now. Ostapenko did, though, so you can cash that plus 125 if you rode with us here on the Ostapenko. And we're on the over 23.5 games. That's going to be around about 28.5 games from now. Ostapenko and Schneider forming up as well. Come on, she's doing well. That's good little run there. Trying to get my 101 shot. This is to be fair, though, if Gigante can hold it, it's another break point for Tsitsipas. If he does hold it, it shows tremendous character to do that against Tsitsipas, especially in a long match like this. But I just got this sneaky feeling with all his experience, Tsitsipas will find a way and the pressure will get to
him. Looking at the Fucsovics Tommy Paul game, that's really, really interesting betting now. Both of them, it's a 50-50 call, 15 or 50-50 call. So
you talked me into maybe looking at Fernley over Ugo and Bear based on his track record here. Slight underdog in Jacob Fernley versus Ugo, who just doesn't really hold up here.
He's been brilliant in the clay courts, isn't he, Jacob Fernley? I mean, I don't think he was even famous in the Fernley house. Now everybody knows he's inside the top 50 in the world. You know,
Yeah.
he's a real player, doing really well. And also you got to remember that Ugo and Bear has had a lot of injury problems with a knuckle or a hand. He's been playing with strap. He hasn't been well for some time now, so that'll be quite interesting. But you know what's going to happen, Mitch? This is going to go on and on. This one. We thought we would wrap it up.
I thought we could get through this game.
Yeah,
I thought we could. Yeah, Fernley. I did it. It took a while, but I found a British player that you'll back, Jacob Fernley.
Well,
it took somewhat
on this match.
Not
not every match.
Not Raducanu.
This is like when you go to a toilet break during a match and you're waiting to get back in the court, and there's been 17 juices points, and you're still waiting to get in. This is like always every time I go for a break.
All right, we'll see here. I got break point. We'll see. Hopefully it rides it out. I think this is going to be the one. I have a good. He'll just serve to the back.
Just before the last break point, Stefanos Tsitsipas was plus 160 in play. Now on this break point, he's plus 225. So I don't understand why there's a difference between plus 160 on the last ad point and now plus 225. But I think if he takes his point 120, you'll be looking at Tsitsipas going into with serve. You
look like a de facto match point here. Like Tsitsipas wins the game, he wins the match. Not necessarily.
It's a big point. It's another juice point.
There it goes.
It's just a massive point, isn't it? And it's just a massive thing. But I mean, do you know what? As well, over here in the UK, we've got a cup final. One of our soccer teams involved in a European Cup final, which is Chelsea involved in a European Cup final tonight. So the television network that have been following the French Open tennis have just cut off and gone to the cup final between Chelsea. So I can't even watch it. So I can't even see.
Oh my gosh!
I have to watch on the Bet Rivers app.
Well, we can wind it down here on Betting Weekly Tennis Live app because we win. Nigel, what else we got going on? I know this show's going to be back 3 times next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when it really picks up at Roland Garros, 1:00 Eastern time with our talented roster of hosts and betting analysts. But what else you got cooking up here?
Yeah, we've got Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, a new episode with myself and Sean has just been recorded today, looking at tomorrow's third round matches, some different matches than we spoke about today on this show with you, Mitch. We've got Betting Weekly Hardball, the baseball show with Doug Kazarian and all the handicappers stateside, as well as Betting Weekly Fast Break, looking at the basketball where the playoffs are really, really hotting up. New York Knicks have got it all to do in that one. We'll be previewing the games on there, matches on there as well. And obviously, we've got all the stuff available on our socials at Because We Win. There's some stuff on Instagram. And I've got a rest day tomorrow. And then on Friday, I'm taking a flight to Munich to watch the Champions League final.
There you go.
Paris Saint-Germain against Inter Milan.
And we have a final in the match. Tsitsipas is out. Gigante wins.
Yeah, well played. Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant performance for Gigante. Deserved it. I didn't think he would have it in it. But mamma mia, he's done the business.
The Italians are coming. They're everywhere. There's so much depth there. Nigel Seeley, this was a blast. Always is with you. I love talking tennis. I love covering this Roland Garros tournament. Hope everybody out there enjoyed the show, made a little money. Download the Bet Rivers app. Join us. Follow us along on our socials app Because We Win. So much content, as Nigel mentioned. For Nigel Seeley, I'm Mitch Michals on behalf of our team here at the Because We Win studios. This was Betting Weekly Tennis Live. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the tennis.